What's goody? Hey man, so we need to talk about the Dallas Mavericks, dude. And this is a video that I'm going to be honest to you, heading into the season, I didn't expect to make. I was a guy that was buying a lot of Anthony Davis stock, and I was a guy that was a big defender and a big believer in this team being solid because of the defense alone. I didn't think, if y'all watched my video doing the predictions for the season, I didn't pick this team to be a playoff team. I said they would be borderline, and I picked them finishing as the ninth seed, and I picked San Antonio finishing in the playoffs, getting that eighth seed right above them, which right now it looks like San Antonio is about to be the one seed, but whatever. We're not here to talk about that right now. I talked about that in my last video if you want to go watch that. And since then, they just beat my Raptors by 20 points. Whatever. The Raptors don't look good. Anyways, let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks, because as a guy that was a big defender in this defense, that was a big believer of this defense, that was a big believer in Anthony Davis, that was just a fan of the defensive front court that was going to be Cooper Flagg, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively. And while I understood that the offense of this team would be limited, I thought that offseason pickups like D'Angelo Russell, along with what I thought would be an improved year with another year in Dallas from Klay Thompson, and the potential of Kyrie coming back at some point later in the season, you're like, okay, yeah, this is a team that'll be a borderline playoff team. Just because of the defense alone, it'll have them at the bare minimum that. As we sit here today, this team has been one of my least favorite watches in basketball, and they are currently 1-3. Their one win came against the team that I just mentioned briefly, was the Toronto Raptors in a 139-129 game. And like I mentioned, the Raptors have not looked good. That is not a good win right now. The Raptors have let up 120-plus points in all of their losses. And even in their one win versus the Hawks, who haven't looked good, they let up 118 points. So the Raptors are a team that I was another big believer in because of their defense, because of their wing guys and their kind of height on that defensive end. And they've been terrible too. And trust me, there's a video coming out about them Raptors soon. But we had to talk about this team first, because I think this team had by far more expectations than the Raptors coming into the season with Cooper Flagg and the Luka Doncic trade last year and everything like that. And let me tell you, they opened up the season playing against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs, and Victor Wembanyama had a night so good against Anthony Davis and this team that Twitter was blowing up. And had it not been for the Terry Rozier and the Chauncey Billups thing breaking the next morning, Wemby would have been all we talked about for the entire next day as well. What Wembanyama did to this team and to Anthony Davis was so bad that I immediately said, oh, he cannot be second in DPOI. Because you can't start the season out looking that bad on defense. I'm not just talking about one-on-one defense getting killed by Wemby. I'm talking about defensive rotations were just missed or just weren't even, he wasn't even trying on some of them. I'm talking just lackadaisical and laziness sometimes in the plays or in transition or in getting back or even with the rebounding and stuff. Or it was like, it looked like Anthony Davis was defeated in that game. But I'm like, okay, it's just one game. He's going to get to Wemby. Maybe Wemby's just that nice right now. He's going to go up against the Wizards. He's going to kill him. And Kaishan George, who is the most improved player right now, probably off the top of my head, went out there and put up 11 of 15 shooting, 7 of 9 from 3 for 34 points. And I understand Anthony Davis wasn't just on him the whole game and everything like that. But that man is a power forward. So at the end of the day, that is your matchup. When we look at the starting lineups, you look at the power forward, you say, okay, that is your matchup. And you let him do that to you. And I'm not just talking about just Anthony Davis on this, man, but it has been bad for Anthony Davis. But let's talk about the team as a whole before we get into too much of the Anthony Davis, not slander, but criticism that I have. So first thing I want to say to this team is the offense, man. It just looks bad. And I'm going to look at the offensive numbers right now. I don't know how updated they are on ESPN and everything like that because, teams, it's weird because we got NBA every day. So it's like some teams have played more games than other teams. But let's look. Opponent points per game allowed. Number one is the San Antonio Spurs, by the way, with Victor Wembanyama. The Dallas Mavericks aren't as low as I thought they would be. The Dallas Mavericks are 15th at 118. Cool. But the Thunder had a bad offensive night last night in the game that I'm telling you, dude, this team is not good. You look at the offense and it's just slow. It's clunky. Last night against the Thunder, they couldn't even put up 100
It's so easy
points. It's just bad. The offense is bad. The defense is bad too. And the one thing that I didn't expect from this team was for the defense to just be this bad. But then you go to the offense, and the offense isn't just bad. It's the worst in the league. This offense is worse than the New Orleans Pelicans and the Detroit. This is worse than the Orlando Magic's offense, and the Orlando Magic's offense was ranked as the second worst in basketball up until I think last night. Right now, the Dallas Mavericks average 108 points per game. They are dead last in the NBA with that number. Right now, the Dallas Mavericks from three-point range, can you guess what they shoot? Go ahead, give out a guess. The Dallas Mavericks from three-point range shoot 34.2%. It's not the worst in the league because you got the OKC Thunder who shoot 27.9%, and then the Orlando Magic, who, again, a video is going to be coming out about them soon in a minute too, at 29.1. But this is still pretty bad. And you're just looking at this team and you're like, okay, you're watching the offense and you say, damn, it's slow. There's no perimeter threat. Cooper Flagg is the most obvious not a point guard player I've ever seen in my life. And I think they need to stop trying to make him one like today. He went 1 of 9 against OKC with 0 assists. On the season so far through 4 games, he's averaging 13, 5, and 2 on 38% from the field, 27% from 3. He went from a guy that everyone, including myself, thought would be NBA ready immediately. And so far, he hasn't only not been that. He's been one of the most upsetting rookies so far of the class. Now, granted, it's through 4 games. I'm not going to sit here and pretend he's going to be a bust. But it's just bad the way they've been using him right now. And I think that's more on the team than him because I think they have put him in a terrible position. I don't think Cooper Flagg ever projected to be the type of prospect that was going to be your offensive engine or this point forward type of player. He wasn't going to be that. He was going to be a guy that makes all the right plays. He was going to hold most of his value on the defensive end probably. He was going to be a good, solid rebounder. He was going to have the ceiling of probably being a 20-point per game scorer while also being the best two-way player on your team. That was probably his ceiling, was just being maybe the best two-way player in the league was probably his ceiling, or at least two-way role player in the league. That's the type of guy where, like, he's the type of guy where as soon as you get him on a team that's contending, he stays the entire time because he's one of those critical pieces that you do not want to lose. He's a guy that is integral to dynasties because he's not going to be the star, but he's going to be a guy where, like, without him, everything looks worse because he just has his hand in everything. But what they are trying to do is trying to make him be all of those things, as well as making him a point guard, as well as making him the best perimeter threat. And this is on a team that has no other perimeter threats. Because you look at Clay, and dude, Clay, man, I'm trying not to be too negative here because I hate to see my goats get washed. But dude, it's bad. He's averaging 9 points per game on 26% shooting from the 3-point range. At this point, he's only getting 20 minutes per game max. That's how bad it is. This is a team that doesn't have guard play, that desperately needs shooting, that desperately needs guard play, that just desperately needs a perimeter threat so that way it can help the offense look a little less slow, a little less clunky, and the paint be a little less clogged. And the man is only getting 20 points, is only getting 20 minutes per game because guys like Max Christie are better than him right now. D'Lo, who had a terrible night last night, is better than him right now. Freaking Jaden Hardy right now is better than him. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? This stuff is insane. Ryan Nembhard is getting minutes over dude, bro. It doesn't make sense how bad dude has been. And it's insane. And then it's just like, AD being your offensive option is okay. AD is a phenomenal player. Please don't get me wrong. But with this team, it looks so much worse than it ever has in Anthony Davis' career with him being the offensive number one because the perimeter guys are so bad at just hitting the shots. They're not getting open. They're not hitting the shots. The offense isn't being ran. It's not like actual sets that are actually getting guys open and actually getting guys into space against you. And then you look at the defense. They can't guard anyone and they can't stop the three at all. So like you can't guard period and you also can't stop the three. Well, you can't hit threes and your offense is slow. You don't even get out in transition enough. There's reports of Jason Kidd not wanting to be there anymore. And then on top of all this, you go up against Oklahoma City, who I don't think has looked as good as they have last year. Granted, they're undefeated. I feel you. I think that's more of they're still a very good team with one of the best players in the world, so they're just going to win these close games. But I do not think as a team they look anywhere near as good as last year. Maybe I'll talk about that in a video soon as well. But against OKC, you don't even score 100 points, first of all. You have this tall-ass lineup. And let's go look at the starting lineup they did. They had and it goes, OKC, let me just go make sure it's the normal starting lineup before I get in here. And I hate because I don't remember anyone significant being different in that starting lineup last night. It was Anthony Davis, P.J. Washington, Cooper Flagg, Klay Thompson, Max Christie. With that tall-ass front court. Now, I understand Derek Lively isn't there. Cool. Derek Lively did not play. Daniel Gafford, I don't think he's played all season. Okay, cool. But you still have Anthony Davis. You still have P.J. Washington, who's a real 4. You still have Cooper Flagg, who's like a real 3-4. You have like these are taller guys. How do you only get 36 rebounds? Oh, I'll tell you how. It's because Anthony Davis and P.J. Washington combined for 20. Nobody else had more than 4. Your leading assist guy was D'Angelo Russell off the bench, who had 10 assists. Nobody else had over 3. You forced 13 turnovers against OKC. You forced them to shoot 20% from the field, and then you can't do anything with it because your offense is that bad, because Cooper Flagg is a -20, because Najee Marshall is a -15. He went 2 for 7 from the field. It's insane because Klay Thompson's 3 for 11, 2 for 6 from 3, and is a -12 when he's in the game. OKC only had 20 points in the second quarter. Unfortunately, That didn't mean anything because Dallas only had 18. Against the Wizards, Dallas didn't even have 18 in the second quarter. They had 17. I get it against OKC. That's the best defense in the league. I get it against OKC, guys. There's no way. I understand the Wizards are a fun team right now. They probably won't be in 2 weeks, but right now they are. There is no way the Wizards are a fun enough team that they should hold you to that little offensively. You should never have a quarter against this Washington Wizards team that I don't even know who their best player is 100% of the time. There is no way that you should only have a 17-point quarter against that team. No way. Shea, Chet, and AJ Mitchell all had good, efficient scoring nights. But anyways, back to what I was saying, man. I won't hit on D'Lo too much for last night because he really just started getting real minutes like a game or two ago as my daughter starts to cry. So let me finish this video up. So I'm going to wait until he's adjusted to hate on D'Lo or the performance he had. But, dude, that game he had me ready to go from a guy that was wanting D'Lo to start, that was calling for D'Lo to start and get more minutes just because this team needs perimeter offense from somewhere and it has to come from somewhere with Kyrie not being there. To now I'm someone that understands why he really wasn't getting minutes to start the year because I ultimately think playing D'Lo big minutes like you did against Toronto, that is going to be better for your team than not playing D'Lo significant minutes because, like I said, that perimeter offense has to get from somewhere, and D'Lo is one of those guys where he benefits from being in a rhythm. He benefits from like consistency. He benefits from knowing what he's going to be able to do, from knowing exactly what you are going to allow him to try to do and exactly what you're okay with him even like thinking in his brain he can do. He needs to know his role, and your role needs to be, his role is one of those where he needs to be able to take a good amount of shots, at the very least enough shots to be like a six-man of the year type of guy. And on this team, I think you need to start him because what good is he doing you as a six-man when you have no perimeter offense in your starting lineup and you have no consistent offense at all in your starting lineup? The team isn't good. There's a ton of drama surrounding the team and the franchise. The team isn't well built. It relies too heavily on vets that have injury-riddled past, a.k.a. AD and Kyrie. And most of all, you don't have Luka Doncic, who you had just last year, and you should still have right now, all because of Nico Harrison. So to put it simply, to put this video all up in a nice little bow and wrap it up, the Mavs are closer to a rebuild than they are to competing right now. And I'm sorry to be so harsh about this because I'm never someone that wants to call for something like this, but Nico Harrison being gifted the #1 pick in what was obviously the most suspicious lottery of all time simply isn't enough for him to have a job right now. The team isn't built well. Everybody thought the team was going to be able to be at least competitive, especially with the addition of Cooper Flag, and the team is like, it's a roster that you look at and you say it shouldn't be this bad as it looks right now. And let me turn this light on. The lighting is bad. I think I had the light on when I first recorded this. Essentially, I'm out on this Dallas Mavericks team. All the stock that I had in them being like a 9 seed or anything like that, they very well could still be there just because, you know, Anthony Davis is that good. Jason Kidd's a good coach. They have good players. They have talent, so they could figure it out. But essentially, man, I'm off this team. I don't think the team is good. I don't think the roster is built well. I think Nico Harrison, it's time to go, man. And, yeah, let me know what y'all think about the Mavs. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching, as always. Let me know if y'all think I'm being too harsh. Let me know if y'all think my analysis was a little off. Or let me know if y'all agree. Let me know what type of content y'all want to see more of, what teams you want me to talk more about. Like I said, I am going to be talking about some of these teams, whether they're doing good things that have impressed me or bad things that have underwhelmed me or been disappointing to me. Either way, we are going to be talking about pretty much every team throughout the entirety of the season, or at least for throughout the entirety of the first half of the season. My goal is to talk about pretty much every team, at least as consistent of a basis as I can, without doing injustice to the teams that deserve more time. Okay. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for watching as always. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And please don't forget to share it around, show your friends and everything like that. And always remember to keep God first no matter what. All right? Gotta go tend to my daughter. Peace out. I love y'all.